So, Kodak Black is the person you think of when you're imagining the stereotypical lifestyle of a rock star. This man basically lives on the premise of wake up, cause disruption in society, eat, sleep, repeat. You could even list all the felonies he's committed. He has countless charges of battery, sexual assault allegations, false imprisonment of a child neglection, passing a gun and marijuana to a child, car theft, and drug charges, mostly marijuana related. And the worst part about it is that it seemed like he had this gift to get away with all these things. It's almost like he had some type of higher power, some guardian angel watching over him, making sure that he could commit the worst of crimes and only get a slap on the wrist. Or at least this wasn't until May 19th, 2019, when he was set to perform at Rolling Stone, but was instead arrested on weapons charges. And at the time, I honestly didn't take it that seriously. Like I said, he has a gift, he has some type of knack for getting away with the worst of crimes. Then it was reported that he was sentenced to almost 4 years in prison. And I honestly didn't feel sorry for him. This is the same man who disrespected Nipsey Hussle by shooting his shot with his wife the same year that Nipsey passed away. This is the same man who said that he was better than Biggie and Tupac. So if anybody expects me to go on social media and say hashtag free Kodak, my boy, you're gonna be waiting for a minute. Kodak basically put his name in the same category as other rappers who tried to keep it real by committing crimes and acting a fool in public and ended up serving serious jail time. I'm talking about your 6ix9s, your YNW Melly. But then I thought about another rapper whose name was in this category, but miraculously removed his name against all odds. Gucci Mane. Now, if you know Gucci Mane, you know Gucci Mane is a success story. But what I noticed was a lot of what is said today about Kodak Black could be said about Gucci Mane back in the day. With regards to Kodak Black, I remember the judge said something like, young people do stupid things all the time, but the problem is you've been doing stupid things since you were 15. And the same applies to Gucci if you think about it. Gucci, if I'm not mistaken, has been selling drugs since he was in middle school and using drugs since his late teens. And Gucci, much like Kodak Black, came from a struggled background and didn't really know how to deal with things the best way. Instead of turning his back against all the negative stereotypes about a black man, such as drugs and violence, they ended up embracing it and becoming a part of it. And for both situations, despite finding success through music, they decided to keep acting a fool in public and participating in such crimes. Maybe rappers who do this feel a need to keep their image authentic to the public. They feel like if they're going to be rapping about drugs and violence, they have to actually still live that type of lifestyle in order to be relevant to their fan base. But that's never really made sense to me. I mean, the whole point of becoming rich, the whole point of finding success is so that you don't have to look like this anymore. Coming back to Gucci, Gucci ended up beefing with Young Jeezy, and this ended up with a shootout that left one man dead. So he was obviously living an extremely reckless type of lifestyle. And years later, he ended up getting himself locked up for, you guessed it, weapons charges and ended up serving 2 years in prison. But here's the difference between Gucci and Kodak. When all hope was lost for Gucci, he ended up emerging from this as a different man. Now, we don't know what happened to him behind bars that led to him making such drastic changes in his lifestyle, but unfortunately, it took over 10 years for him to become the man he is today. Now, I'm saying this relates to Kodak Black because I have one question. Is hip hop willing to wait 10 years for Kodak Black to get his act together? I really like success stories. To quote J. Cole, I love to see a black man get paid, but to be honest, I don't really see this happening. Kodak Black is somebody who has impulsive behavior. He's a man who doesn't think his actions through. He's obviously a menace to society, and the idea of him being locked up doesn't really rub me off the bad way. I mean, just think about it. He still has other crime cases that had to be postponed in order for this case that got him locked up to happen. For example, like his rape case where in 2016 he allegedly assaulted a young woman in a hotel room. According to the victim, he brought the young woman to the hotel room and justified assaulting her by claiming that he couldn't help himself. Usually, I'm a strong believer in the a person is innocent until proven guilty rule, but in a situation like this, I can honestly believe the victim because, or like I said, he gives into his impulsive behaviors. This is the same man who went on Instagram Live and showed the world a video of him and his boys getting hit from some girl passing around like a blunt. Keep in mind, Kodak Black has 12-year-old fans who probably saw that. That honestly rubs me off a bad way. This is obviously a man who doesn't think his actions through and cares little about the consequences that come from what he does. And even though I personally gave up all hope for him, I still felt like there was just a little possibility that he could come from all of this in 3 years as a different man, a changed man, the type of rapper we want to see him as. But now I see that that's obviously impossible because now he might serve 30 more years for, you guessed it, new gun charges. So let's just take a moment to understand how messed up this man's life is. Honestly, it feels like people like him and 6ix9ine need to actually hire somebody to make the decisions for them because obviously they have no idea what they're doing in life. But yeah, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think there's still hope for Kodak? Do you think he has the potential to become the next Gucci Mane? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah.